Indian IT stocks in focus after 5-day slide. Accenture Q4 beats estimates with 7% revenue growth on AI demand, setting the tone for TCS, Infy, HCL Tech and peers amid Trump's new H-1B visa rules. LG India throws its hat in the IPO ring. Reports say its mega public issue of 11,500 crore rupees is likely to open in the second week of October. Sets the stage for at least 2 blockbuster issues next month, along with 15,000 crore Tata Capital, and as reports say, PhonePe also lining up. Household savings from GST rate cuts likely to be as high as 30%. A joint report by FICCI and TARI say essential and discretionary items are more accessible, with the number of items taxed at 5%, nearly tripling to 149 categories. The report also adds that those with higher incomes now paying a greater share in taxes. All right, let's take a look at the market setup this morning. Overnight, correcting somewhat on Wall Street. As you can see, some amount of profit booking, as well as now market factoring in that perhaps with growth intact, the Fed is unlikely to cut those rates anytime soon, as is anticipated. And remember, their commentary also was fairly cautious in that respect with regards to the cuts. They were keeping a close eye. So we're seeing that overnight reaction. Tech also taking a bit of a breather after what we've seen in terms of quite a run-up on some of those tech stocks, although Apple seems to be seeing a bright spot there on the charts. Asia this morning also in the red. So let's pull up the Nifty and see what we're heading in for in terms of this morning's trade and what the pre-open ticks are looking like right now. We've been a little quiet this week, and today as well, looking at a 0.3% downtick in the pre-open. Let me welcome Shailendra Bhatnagar joining us as always this morning, Chief Analyst and Editor Markets. Shail, what's the setup looking like today? I know even you were struggling to hunt a little bit for some of those action points today.
Well, Aabha, good morning to you and good morning to everyone. Firstly, thank God it's Friday. We've seen 4 days of consistent selling pressure and profit booking on the Nifty. The index, as we know, ended almost at its day's low yesterday and is now in the pre-open down 72 points. Well, as you mentioned, it's Trump economics, which is derailing everything. I think there will be a silver lining on this 100% pharma tariffs that Mr. Trump has employed on US imports of pharma products. They are on branded pharma, and as you know, the Indian pharma business is mostly generic towards the US. Nevertheless, the pharma index is down 4 successive days. There will be a knee-jerk reaction. Let us see what happens to Sun Pharma, to Biocon in particular. But crude oil prices are also on the boil, down up for the 4th day. So that's a negative for Dalal Street. Only PSU banks and PSU stocks, Aabha, are providing some relief. So Friday, let's hope the selling ends somewhere like 24,800. Aabha.
Okay. I'm actually going to take everyone through this pharma news in a little bit more detail, and we'll have Neetu joining us in a couple of minutes as well. But just to really understand that Trump has now come out and said that they'll be imposing a 100% tariff on any branded or patented pharma product unless a company is building their pharma manufacturing plant in America, and saying that this will come into effect from the 1st of October, and indicated that tariffs could rise to 150% and eventually 250% over the next 12 to 18 months. I mean, all of this, I think the markets are also getting slightly immune to this, Shail, with Trump's constant commentary, but it's not something that you could ignore or dismiss, given, of course, the kind of industry impact it's likely to see. We've already got some brokerage views coming in this morning. Sun Pharma also in focus because it has a lot of specialty products as well, and specialty sales are at about over $1 billion at this point of time. And it doesn't disclose the percentage from US plants, but they have indicated that current capacity is good enough in case they need to undertake onshore manufacturing.
Aabha, I think you'll have a knee-jerk reaction on Sun Pharma and to some extent even Biocon. Let's look at how prices have moved in the pre-open trade. Well, there is just one pharma stock in the green. That's IPCA, and IPCA has very little to do with the US. But top losers include Sun Pharma, 2.6% lower, Biocon, 2% lower. Actually, I was speaking to a fund manager on the pharma space, and he said he himself would not touch pharma business till, as an investor, we have clarity. So a knee-jerk on the way as far as pharma is concerned. And Aabha, kitchen appliances, heavy trucks are also now under fresh tariffs as far as US imports are concerned.
Absolutely. So in fact, if we just take a look at that as well, stocks to watch today, Carousel, Stovecraft, with the tariff, 50% tariff that's being imposed on kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, associated products. US has put about a 30% tariff on upholstered furniture as well, so something like Stanley would be hit. Let me also welcome in Mayuresh Joshi. Mayuresh, good morning. Once again, Trump tantrums there playing havoc with the market. Want to get your view on the index setup, of course, but also on pharma in particular this morning.
Morning, Aabha. I think the index is going through a phase of consolidation. And obviously, I think Trump tariffs and his rhetoric every now and then is not helping the markets at all. And therefore, a range-bound move is something that we see as far as the index is concerned. Obviously, earnings will be key, but you're all expecting Q2 to still be soft with better commentaries at Q3, Q4. But again, I think the Trump commentary and rhetoric, that's not helping the markets at all.
Absolutely. Neetu is with us. Let me quickly go across to her. We still got a few minutes till the opening bell. Neetu, take us through exactly what Trump is saying, because around $1 billion of Indian pharma exports currently have a sword hanging on them, and that too kicking off as early as next week.
Yeah, good morning, Aabha. So basically, President Trump has announced just 100% tariffs on imported branded and patented medicines in the US. So, but the tariff would not automatically apply if the drug maker is actively building a manufacturing facility in the US. But this is very important. Why? Because it shows a major policy shift. So far, the tariffs were, largely used in sectors like steel, auto, electronics, but not on pharmaceuticals. So this is a new thing. By targeting these innovative drugs, the US is actively, it is effectively pushing for domestic production and self-reliance on high-value medicines. So it also sends a warning into the pharma that pharma is now part of the trade war toolkit. This could disrupt global supply chains and pricing potentially, Aabha.
Got it. In fact, we are seeing US remain, of course, the largest market for Indian pharma, and therefore a lot of concern around this. We started to get some brokerage views coming in this morning. Ashika, for instance, saying that headline risk is high, but operational risk at this point does seem low for exporters. But watch out for any policy spillover into specialty or complex generics, because that's where we might feel the pain. Neetu, let's get your input as well on the kind of impact the sector may see. And I know that, of course, it's a little complex in terms of the different kinds of pharma companies as well. But where are we likely to see the impact?
So what I have been speaking to the analysts, for India, the immediate impact is limited, as per the analysts, because see, India's core exports to the US are basically generics, and these tariffs are basically aimed at branded drugs, as you also said. So it is a double-edged signal from the US. On the one side, the costlier branded medicines in the US could make Indian generics even more attractive, in fact, possibly boosting demand. But on the other hand, it raises concern about whether the tariffs could be extended to generics in the future. So since the US is India's largest pharma market, accounting for almost
Neetu, I'm just going to interrupt you there, but thank you for that. And I think that's the key point in terms of keeping an eye on the generics. Just opening bell on your screen, 0.2% downtick there on the Nifty. We were expecting it to be a little muted, a little quiet. Let's pull up some of those gainers and losers for you. Pharma index is immediately taking a hit. Let's pull up Sun in particular. We are going to see a focus on Sun until it becomes clear exactly what the impact may be. Some of the other gainers on the Nifty on your screen, L&T, JSW, Grasim on the top of the charts today, Bajaj Finserv, Hero, Hindalco. Let's pull up some of the names on the downside, and let's also pull up Sun Pharma to see what's happening there. Yes, 4% knock, close to 5% as we speak. Shell, it's coming in swift and it's coming in sharp for Sun Pharma and some of the other pharma majors as well. Cipla, DRL, all of them some of the biggest losers today.
Absolutely, Aabha. It's sharp and swift, and this is the knee-jerk that we are talking about. That no matter whether it is on branded pharmaceuticals, but the market is reacting as the market should react, and therefore you have this very sharp fall that is coming into the pharma index, 1.7% lower, fifth day of losses in the market, and all 17 stocks in the pharma index are in the red. Within the Nifty, Dr. Reddy's, Cipla, Sun Pharma are representative of the pharma index. All three are the top losers as far as prices are concerned, and you have heavy volumes accompanying this downtick. Aabha.
All right. Mayuresh, I know that you said that we weren't looking at, too much of action either way right now, slightly range-bound market. But overall, in terms of direction, how are you viewing the current trend? Which way do you anticipate things to go?
I think once there is some element of clarity that comes through, once Q2 numbers start flowing in, and a large aspect of the street belief is, though Q2 absolute numbers might be soft, the management commentaries might actually hint to better numbers in Q3 and Q4. And if that starts taking place, I think markets will start sensing that earnings might just bottom out and might start coming up an inch higher as we start heading into the next few quarters. The second aspect is the government focus in terms of the capex continuing, and private capex where green shoots are already being very, very evident. If that starts coming back slowly and steadily, I think that is a supportive factor for the markets. So I think till that point of time, I think it's going to be still that consolidation action that you're probably going to see as far as the main indices are concerned. Because a large part of that index, both banking and IT, are not performing at all. And therefore, I think in the broader markets, certain sectors and certain stocks which are domestic focused might do well.
Okay. What about this entire spate of IPOs that are being planned and ready to hit the market? We're talking mega IPOs here. Share, let me come to you first on this because, we're of course tracking some of the ones that are slated as well, like a PhonePe, for instance, as well as the ones that are currently going to be hitting the markets. Yes. And it's going to really take an enormous amount of attention away from the secondary markets.
Absolutely, Aabha, you hit it on the nail. As far as markets are concerned, the amount is finite. So investors either go into the secondary market or pull it out and put it into primary markets. So 15 IPOs are going to get listed in this Navratra, and money is flowing in from secondary to primary. And the three major ones that you mentioned, Tata Capital, PhonePe, and of course LG India, all that money is going to come in from secondary markets. And this is the reason, another reason why you see this profit booking for the fifth day in a row as far as Dalal Street is concerned. Lot of demand coming in from the IPO part of the business as far as the broader market structure is concerned. Aabha.
So clearly there's value to be had here. Mayuresh, what's your view, and how attractive have been some of the recent spate of IPOs that have hit the market? And like we were discussing this morning, three mega ones yet to come. We just finished with Urban Company. Now we've got LG, Tata Cap, and so forth that are also going to be on the anvil.
No, so Aabha, I think good names are coming in, and therefore I think, as Shell rightly mentioned, I think there is sufficient opportunity. And if you probably look at the IPO index generally, I think that has outperformed the overall market by a huge margin. And therefore, I think the appetite in terms of investors who probably have missed some element of market rally, though the markets have been consolidating. But I think the mid-cap rally, which has probably happened over the last few weeks, I think there is some element of a feeling out effect that comes through. And with IPOs, select IPOs doing exceptionally well, specifically on its open as well, I think there is a temptation to probably look at the subscription numbers that are probably way, way higher than what one believes in. And therefore, select IPOs might continue doing well. Example being Urban Company, as you mentioned, I think there is a huge market in front of them over the next 10 years. How that translates in numbers is something to us.
All right. Well, another pocket of the market between defense, rail, shipping, we're seeing that entire segment moving. Let me touch upon defense first. India's defense sector, in fact, seeing a boost with HAL securing a more than 62,000 crore rupee fighter aircraft deal. And a large part of this will, of course, trickle down to the private sector. Another $1 billion deal is set to be signed just next month.
We expect to sign it in October. The contract will be 1 billion plus. the contract negotiations are done, the price is finalized. So we are only going through the contract details and we have to sign. So now that this main contract is signed, in October we will sign the contract with GE for 113 engines. So you can see that out of this huge number, 62,000 odd crores, a lot of it is going to go into the indigenous supply chain. So that will have this downstream effect of creating jobs. For example, even we are indigenizing a lot of materials. We are working with Vidhani for indigenizing some of the materials. We are working with Yantra India for some aluminum extrusions. Recently we have partnered with them. So we are trying to build those supply chains to reach the 70%. So obviously when these new radar which is there, the indigenous radar, Uttam, that is going to come, or the Swayam Rakshak Kavach, these are going to be made in India. So obviously there will be a spin-off in terms of all these companies which are going to make this, will generate lots of jobs.
All right, so defense, rail, shipping, and we're continuing to see some action there. But Shell, before we get to some of those names, I think the market breadth is just further weakening and a lot of selling building up on those pharma names.
Absolutely, Aabha. It's 1:3 as far as advanced decline is concerned. Just 550 stocks in the green versus 1,800 that are in the red, and all 19 indices are down in the red, led by, of course, the pharma index down 2.2%. And it's the option space that is throwing heavy selling pressure. There's a lot of put buying that's happening in Aurobindo Pharma, in Cipla, in Divi's, Dr. Reddy's, Lupin, Sun Pharma in particular, as also Zydus Life.
All right, so really not looking pretty this morning on those pharma names, even if it's even if it's a knee-jerk reaction. Markets are definitely coming down hard on some of those pharma counters. I just want to pull up even some of those kitchenware stocks just to see if they're also seeing any kind of reaction coming in on that tariff news. Stovecraft, Stanley Furniture, Carousel. Let's just try and pull them up to see if there's any kind of knee-jerk reaction on the tariff news as well. We'll pull that up for you in a moment. But interesting to see that no support coming in from otherwise from consumer, auto, or any of those segments today. Stanley Lifestyles also down about 2% on that news. In fact, only 3 stocks now are in the green out of the 35 top traded by volume on the NSE. So 3 gainers. We've got RITES, we've got FCL, and we've got Anantraj. Let's just pull up those 3 stocks for you. RITES, FCL, and Anantraj. So it's a very, very quiet market right now, and these are your gainers. RITES is up about 6%. I'm just trying to see if there is a certain news trigger coming in on any of these counters. But RITES, yes, the company has received a letter of award worth 18 million, so that's about 153 crore from South Africa's Thales. They're going to be supplying diesel electric motive, so that's why RITES is running up this morning. FCL and Anantraj, also the other 2 that are moving right now. And we've also got continued selling pressure coming in on IT. TCS, in fact, now is at a low. We're at 2934 on TCS. That's a fresh 2-year low. Mayuresh, coming to you on IT because we're really not seeing any respite for some of these IT majors.
Well, I think they will go through a period of consolidation. I think a large part of the price correction is now done. But the street is of the belief that all the issues that are probably lingering as headwinds, add to that the latest H1B controversy that is probably playing out, and the business model, which itself now probably is under some element of pressure as far as the new agentic AI models, platforms globally and competitively are concerned. How does that have a say in terms of new orders, margins on these orders, pricing of these orders as well as the time and cost effort that probably will go in terms of developing new platforms and upskilling their employee base as well. So to that extent, I think there are a lot of headwinds that the sector is probably facing. We were always of the belief that companies which are a little bit more adaptive in terms of incorporating these technologies upfront might continue doing well. And therefore, the only stock that we're probably still holding in our global portfolios is Emphasis, because our take is Emphasis is doing a lot more as far as AI is concerned. And that portion might actually continue going higher in the next few quarters.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to go back to pharma for a moment. So IT remains weak. Pharma, this is all Trump impact, honestly. But again, more brokerage calls coming in that the impact is likely to be limited because remember, largely India exports generics. So unless it's patented drugs, it seems like perhaps the impact will be limited. At this point of time, a little bit of uncertainty remains about whether complex or specialty generics, which Indian companies are starting to look at, may come under scrutiny in the future. So the immediate risk, at least, seems to be limited. But markets are just reacting on news right now, and pharma is seeing a huge dive. And the index also now down about 80 points. So it's clearly a little bit weak. An advanced decline ratio looks terrible this morning. Any other closing highlights, Shell, from opening trade?
I wish, Aabha, I had something positive to say. Yeah. Pharma is taken to the cleaners. Out of top 15 losers in FNO, 13 are pharma stock futures led by Laurus Pharma, 3.5% lower. We've talked about Sun and Biocon in the opening comments. Divi's, Alchem, Mankind, Lupin, PPL Pharma. I'm talking about large, heavyweight, blue chip pharma reacting very, very negatively. And the advanced decline is now worsened. Just 480 stocks in the green, and the number of stocks falling has now risen to 1922. The Nifty has tested 24,800 on its way down 88. Let us see how it goes.
All right, well, nothing to do but wait and watch. Mayuresh, thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to having you back on a more bullish day so we can discuss many more trending stocks. Shell, thanks again for all of your inputs as well. That's where we leave it. Do come back and track market closing with us at 3:30.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
I choose a world where we dream, and the limit is the sky. And this world is my home where I'm living my best.
Mindfully crafted home decor fabrics. Sansar, a D-Decor brand. Live consciously.
सैल्यूट है जी, आप देश की रक्षा में जान लगा देते हैं
और आप
घर घर में तार लगाते हैं जी। ई बीम टेक्नोलॉजी से बनी, न जले न पिघले, सबकी रक्षा करे।
हम सरहद पर लोगों की रक्षा करते हैं और आप देश के अंदर। सैल्यूट तो बनता है जी।
अपार अणुशक्ति फायर प्रोटेक्ट वायर, अपार देश का तार।
Hello, Moto.
Do the moto moto.
Moto G96 5G segment's undisputed all-rounder.
India Today Conclave Mumbai 2025. September 25 and 26, Mumbai. Watch live.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices.
Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com. Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
Hello, Moto.
Do the moto moto.
Moto G96 5G, segment's undisputed all-rounder.
Imagine a couple dealing with infertility choose to seek help and are told surrogacy is an option. The mother would be a robot. You heard that right. This is not a plot from a sci-fi movie or something I'm just cooking up. It actually could be a reality in days and weeks to come. Chinese scientists are developing the world's first pregnancy robot, a humanoid that will carry a baby in an artificial womb and mimic a full-time pregnancy. For those struggling to conceive, hiring a humanoid to carry their baby will cost about 12 lakh rupees or a lakh yuan. The machine, equipped with a system that feeds the fetus nutrients through a hose, could one day mimic a full-term pregnancy before giving birth. An AI robot, a surrogate, wouldn't conceive in the true human sense. Instead, it would house an artificial womb implanted inside its body where a fertilized embryo is placed. The robot's advanced systems would then provide nutrients, oxygen, and monitor the developing fetus, mimicking the functions of a natural pregnancy. AI has been a friend, companion to many. Now it could be taking on the role of a mother. The prototype will make its debut next year. But while the science is fascinating, it has opened a Pandora's box of legal and ethical debates. Yes, it offers hope in infertility, but what about the moral boundaries of creating life through machines? Welcome back. You're watching The Burning Question on India Today, and we're getting some breaking news from down south. The Andhra Pradesh Assembly witnessed heated exchanges after TDP MLA and actor Nandamuri Balakrishna called former Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy a psycho during a debate on law and order. The remark came while recalling a past incident highlighted by BJP MLA Kamineni Srinivas, who said Jagan had refused to meet a film industry delegation led by Chiranjeevi, asking them to talk only to the cinematography minister, and Chiranjeevi had reportedly objected, insisting the Chief Minister address them
directly. So that's the breaking news that's coming in from the Andhra Pradesh Assembly that witnessed heated exchanges after TDP MLA called former Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy a psycho. Listen in.
Adyaksha, ఇదాక గౌరవ శాసనసభ్యులు కామినేని శ్రీనివాసరావు మాడుతూ అప్పుడు అందరూ ఇండస్ట్రీ కలవడానికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు సైకో గారిని చిరంజీవి గారు గట్టిగా అడిగితే అప్పుడు ఈయన వచ్చాడంది అబద్ధం. గట్టిగా ఎవడు అడగలేదు అక్కడ. అది మీరు అన్నారు ఇందాక ఏదో గట్టిగా అడిగితే ఈయన వచ్చాడు మళ్ళీ కలవడానికి, లేకపోతే ఏదో సినిమాటోగ్రఫీ మినిస్టర్ కలవమన్నారు అని. ఏంటంటే అవి మిగతా ఓకే, అవమానించడం ఆయన ఓకే. ఏదో ఆయన పెద్ద గట్టిగా చెప్తే ఆయన దిగొచ్చాడంట కలవడానికి, లేకపోతే సినిమాటోగ్రఫీ మినిస్టర్ కలవమన్నారంట. మనం కూడా నాకు ఇన్విటేషన్ వచ్చింది ఇక్కడ ఫిల్మ్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఒక లిస్ట్ తయారు చేయమని. నాది 9వ పేరు వేశారు. అది ఎవరో ఈయన నేను అడిగాను కూడా, దుర్గేష్ గారిని కూడా అడిగాను, గౌరవ సినిమాటోగ్రఫీ మంత్రి కూడా అడిగాను ఎవడో అడిగేసిందని. The respect a human being, even be opposition or us. 9వ పేరు వేశారు. ఇదే అదేదో గట్టిగా ఎవడు అడిగాడు, గట్టిగా అడిగితే పంపించారు లోపలికి, వచ్చాడు ఈడు కలవడానికి. సారీ, I want to clarify this. No, very good, sir. Nonsense.
And my colleague Aapurva is now joining us with more details on this story. Aapurva, dirty name calling in the Andhra Pradesh Assembly, TDP MLA and actor Balakrishna calling former Chief Minister Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy a psycho. Give us more context and how has the YSRCP reacted to this remark?
Well, in fact, what we're getting to know is that, this statement that has been made by MLA Balakrishna has not only risen several eyebrows, but also the name calling that you can see. This took place inside the Andhra Pradesh Assembly while sessions was, ongoing, and this basically why he called him that. This incident took place when there was a discussion regarding the film fraternity meeting with the former chief minister there for discussions ongoing, be it various important discussions that were to be held, be it ticket prices and others as well. And in fact, Balakrishna is going there and alleging that in a past incident, this is where Jagan refused to meet film industry, and which is where led by Chiranjeevi, and this is where he called him by the name Psycho, and that's what you can also see from the visuals there, where Balakrishna is going on and saying. In fact, the YSRCP has condemned this statement that has come in from Balakrishna, citing how a person, a sitting MLA, can go ahead and spew this kind of words and this kind of derogatory comments on a former Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. And, in fact, several YSRCP leaders are also taking to protest today as well regarding the statement that has been, derogatory comments that has been made by Balakrishna.
All right, Aapurva, thank you for getting us those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more updates on the story. As of now, we're shifting focus. We're getting some more breaking news. And shocking case of judge misusing power has emerged. Principal District and Session Judge U. Chembal misuses power for personal gains. Madras High Court had directed for probe against judge on September 10th, and the report is out now. Now, the PDJ uses government officer to settle personal scores with public and PSO who worked for him. The Madras High Court said that the PDJ acted in a motive against natural justice. The High Court goes on to say that it's a misuse of power and inhumane activities were exhibited by the judge to his PSOs and public. So, absolutely shocking case of judge misusing power has emerged. My colleague Aabha Bakaya is now joining us with more details on this. Aabha, over to you.
Well, we're learning that this particular judge, who was a district judge in Kanchipuram, in fact, went ahead and directed the drug inspector to take action against the medical shop. Why? Because the pharmacist refused to sell drug to him without a medical prescription. That's just only one such instance of abuse of power. Another instance where he had directed a food safety officer to go ahead and inspect a bakery over a personal row with the owner of that particular bakery. Third instance where he has misused his power. He has directed a municipal commissioner to take action against an apartment that was adjacent to his residence. Why? Because the apartment association had said a clear-cut no for him parking his personal car in their apartment. That's the kind of blatant misuse of power and entitlements that we're seeing at the moment. In fact, just a month back, this particular judge had even remanded a DSP of Kanchipuram district, Mr. Shankar Ganesh, into judicial custody over a personal row in a suo moto order. In fact, it was related to an SC atrocities